Longmont appear to have forgotten the Constitution exists. The Longmont Housing Authority says it was using the homes of low-income residents to train police drug dogs. No warrants, just a notice that the landlord was coming by and that a police officer and drug dog might be there too. Longmont police originally defended the practice, and then hours later today they said they would stop these warrantless searches. The letter to residents of low-income housing starts with all the standard stuff, notifying them of an inspection. That's what landlords across Colorado do. And then it mentions the police officer and the drug dog. Nowhere is it said that while you have to let the landlord in, you do not have to allow the police officer and the drug dog inside your home without a warrant. And if you do, anything they find is fair game. The chairwoman of the Housing Authority in Longmont says they have never had a resident refuse the police search. Perhaps because those residents didn't know they could refuse.
And usually it helps the residents feel real secure in that we're following up, we're holding residents accountable. It's an opportunity for the dogs to train.
You heard that correctly. The head of a public housing agency in Colorado says that they are using the homes of low-income people to train police dogs. I spoke to several housing authorities across the metro area today. All of them said they do not do this. They've never heard of anyone doing this. One housing authority official actually laughed out loud at the thought. But it's not funny, of course. Landlords can schedule inspections, carpet replacement, painting. They cannot schedule searches by police drug dogs. That's what warrants are for. The Longmont Housing Agency says renters shouldn't have a problem if they don't have something to hide.
If there is concern, it kind of sparks some curiosity for me. You know, what are they concerned about if their only job is to ensure that there aren't drugs in the unit?
That, of course, is completely not how America works. And it is no longer how Longmont works. Longmont police originally told us they were comfortable with this arrangement, that they'd done one of these rounds of searches previously. But shortly, a little while ago, they said they're finished with this arrangement, and now they're trying to figure out who at the police department knew that this was going on. And we need to say the only reason that this went public and the only reason it stopped is because somebody at that public housing complex knew her rights and knew that she did not have to submit to a warrantless police search, no matter what the housing authority said.
This is a rights issue, not whether or not you have something to hide.
There it is, the long and the short of it. So we're trying to learn more about who at the Longmont Police Department and City Hall knew that this was going on, and we'll let you know what we find. Buildings, old businesses, beautiful homes that are being steamrolled by Denver's development. So it's only fair that we show you the survivors as well, the holdouts. There's a spot in Denver's Bonnie Brae neighborhood that's celebrating its 83rd birthday with no plans to go anywhere.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Bonnie Brae.
Yes, today is the actual day that we opened in 1934.
Happy 83rd.
My family's legacy. I mean, look on the walls and see all the pictures. And my grandparents started the business, and my grandfather and uncle carried on the tradition. Now my cousin and I, and my 3 children are working here, and my granddaughter's working here. So with 5 generations. We're just ingrained in the neighborhood, and we know quite a few of our neighbors and customers.
Franklin Jeremiah Stewart Jr.
Well, my name's Rick Fisher. This is my mom, Ann.
Stewart is spelled with S-T-E-U, no M-W in it.
And this is some kids that we found out in the parking lot.
I'm John, husband of Brooke Clayton.
Yeah, we've been here 41, so.
Yeah, when everybody's nice.
Yeah, it'll be here for a long time. As long as the family still, continues to run it.
We want to continue. We want to continue as long as there's a Bonnie Brae area and a dyer to be able to be an owner. Oh, I guess so.
You can't find places like it.
Just, it's almost like being home.
Thank you, Bonnie Brae.
Happy birthday, but we're missing some birthday cake today. We wanted birthday cake. That's what we were promised.
Denver is driving people to do some drastic things. We told you a few weeks ago about the gentleman who actually tried to save his wash park home from being scraped, only to return months later to an empty lot. A group of neighbors in another popular part of Denver didn't want to see the same thing happen to a home on their block, so they tried a different tactic. They just bought it.
This block has a lot of history.
Consider the 200 block of South Lincoln a time capsule.
The homes were built between 1889 and 1895.
Filled with history buffs.
My name is Nita Lynch.
My name is Gertie Grant. And
Their houses are a few numbers away from each other, but they also share a common address.
This house here is 213 South Lincoln Street, Denver, Colorado.
See, a couple years ago, these neighbors were fighting to get their block a historical designation. The homes were designed by William Lang, the same architect who designed the Molly Brown house. That's when 213 came into Gertie and Nita's lives.
It was going on the market, and some of us neighbors heard about it going on the market.
When we were afraid somebody was going to buy it and tear it down and build something that was not in context with the neighborhood.
So Gertie, Nita, and two other neighbors got some cash together and bought it.
Some walls had already been torn out when we bought it.
That was in 2015.
It's been an adventure.
An adventure filled with some incredible finds in the floorboards.
My dearest boy.
Including a love letter from a little girl.
Lots and lots of love and kisses.
100 years ago.
1916.
2 years after making that purchase, 213 is almost ready to make more history. The four homeowners have dumped even more money into the home to get it back to its original glory.
But I can tell you it's not a money-making project.
The real value is keeping Denver's block-long time capsule intact.
So that our grandchildren can see how people lived at the turn of the 20th century.
So about a year and a half after they bought that home, the 200 block of South Lincoln got that historical designation, as you could see from the signs, which means if there ever was a new owner, they couldn't scrape that house. As you could see, there's still a bit of work to be done, but they hope to rent out that home to someone in the next couple of months.
Michael Jordan and Oprah Winfrey on the list of the wealthiest African Americans is a man who originally is from Denver. For years, he's kept a low profile while building a massive investment firm. Before he delivered the commencement address at the University of Denver this afternoon, Robert Smith sat down for his first U.S. TV interview ever with our own Nelson Garcia.
Growing up in and around East High School, he learned the value of persistence that still serves him today.
So when you have parents who are teachers, you learn to be relentless in your pursuit of excellence in whatever craft it is that you're interested in.
Robert Smith manages software investments through a company he started called Vista Equity Partners, leaving a successful job at Wall Street giant Goldman Sachs. His colleagues thought he was crazy.
I looked at it and I said, well, how am I going to feel, 15, 20 years from now if I don't take this risk and go try this?
His gamble paid off big time into a $30 billion company, making the illustrious Forbes list as the second richest African American in the U.S., worth $2.5 billion, behind only Oprah Winfrey.
So it's important for these young African American men to understand there are people like Robert Smith out there who actually can, be learned in the sciences and in engineering and in finance.
Smith is now the first black chairman of Carnegie Hall, believing music is a part of life and success.
And a big part of my thrust is to drive music education back into the classrooms and into the schools.
He is delivering the commencement address at the University of Denver graduate ceremony with his message of persistence.
To pick a purpose and to be dogged in the pursuit of that purpose.
Lessons that led him to success.
At the end of the day, I'm really just a quiet engineer, just trying to create these elegant solutions to the complex problems that we face.
Lessons that he learned in and around East High School.
Denver will always be my home.
For Next, I'm Nelson Garcia.
We've been trying to sit down with Mr. Smith for some time now. His father, graduated from DU as well as East High. He has roots in Colorado, but nowadays he's based in Austin, Texas. He runs a summer camp, though, in Colorado's mountains for minority kids, as well as a camp for wounded veterans called Lincoln Hills. He told us he just wants everyone to experience what Colorado is all about. Received a few dozen concerned emails and tweets tonight from folks who are worried that I might be wearing shorts, and that is extremely unprofessional. I assure you I am not. They're skin tone pants. It's 90 degrees out, Colorado. You stay cool, and I'll see you next time.